Hey, this is Alan Yip. Welcome to Study and Shine. Today is about maximizing your productivity, especially during this pandemic. Before I share with you 3 proven strategies for you to turbocharge your productivity, let me ask you these questions. First, is multitasking truth or myth? Second, how can you boost your productivity? And number 3, what are the bottlenecks in your brain that zap your energy and delay your thinking time? So let's jump right in. We learned from extensive studies that multitasking will not help you increase your efficiency or effectiveness. It can't boost your productivity. The reason being, multitasking is simply rapid switching between parallel tasks. And in fact, this creates additional stress and stress hormone cortisol for your brain. Essentially, you have to decide many things at the same time, and it's almost like in the traffic, you stop and go, and at the same time, it derails your focus. The 3 bottlenecks that are created from multitasking that cause inefficiency or low productivity are these 3 problems. First is called attention blink. It's almost like blinking your eyes, but it's attention blink. That means your brain has to decide among all these tasks, which one should I pay attention to? That takes, of course, mental energies and reaction time. And that's why perhaps it's not a good idea for you to talk on your phone and drive at the same time. Hands-free sets won't help much either. Okay. Second is what we call cognitive limit. If you try to memorize some telephone numbers, right, you find it extremely difficult. And guess what? When you now try to hold different tasks in your brain, it's the same thing. It's like juggling many balls in the air at the same time. And eventually you drop some because your short-term memory is limited. And the third bottleneck, the third problem is what we call selection blink. And now you know what? You have to decide what response you will give to each of the tasks. And you have to even decide which selection or response to give. And all this cause a lot of drain or strain on your mental energies. And of course, it delays your reaction time. It really dilutes your focus. You can't be a high performer if you try to multitask, okay? And this is based on extensive research. So let me offer you 3 big ideas. Number 1, it is the best, the most effective and productive to do one thing at a time. So please remember, one thing at a time. And therefore, the first strategy for you is to prioritize. I know it's difficult when you are now cooped up in the house with many people and so forth during this pandemic. And that is why it's even more crucial to learn to be productive, to be effective, to be efficient. Well, how do you do it? You've got to prioritize. Let me share with you a very powerful system called ABCDE, which I learned from Brian Tracy. And that's what you can use to prioritize. You list down all the things that you need to do, okay? And now you give them a ranking. A meaning you've got to get them done, okay? They are important and urgent. B tasks are important, but they're not as important as the A. And the C tasks are nice to do, okay? Perhaps reading a magazine or watching a video to learn something even. But you know what the problem is? Most people focus on the C because it gives them a lot of pleasure, right? That won't give you productivity. You've got to force yourself to do what is hard and necessary before what is fun and easy, okay? D, if you have a D task, now your goal is to delegate. So D for delegating this task to someone else who can do it for you. I always focus on one thing now. I'm not as active in the business world anymore, okay, because I am semi-retired. So I used to focus always on return on energy. If someone can do a task better than I can, well, they should do it. I can only do things that only Alan Yip can do. And perhaps you can also focus on the best use of your time, the best use of your skills. And E-tasks means what? Eliminate. Eliminate them, okay? They don't add value to your overall productivity or output. So please prioritize as the first step. The second step is schedule. And actually, when you look at your work day, if you really do it right for 3 to 4 hours a day and really derive maximum productivity, that is a very productive day. That is a very fruitful day. So my invitation to you is focus on the 3 to 4 hours every day and get the most mileage out of them. Perhaps you have to talk with your spouse in order to schedule a block of time which is uninterrupted. Perhaps you have to go to bed a little bit earlier and get up a little bit earlier, like 6 o'clock, and now schedule from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. to be your blocks, okay? And during this time frame, divide them into 4 blocks of 25 minutes. For every block, set specific goals, okay? Again, based on the priorities. And you know what? Now you have to race against time and focus on getting the job done. And when you do that, you become really a high performer. And after all, what gets scheduled gets done, okay? You can do that maybe early in the morning and another uninterrupted block in the evening. That depends on your schedule, but you've got to work it out and publicize to your family members that during this duration is almost like putting that sign, do not disturb, please, okay? So they know not to interrupt or interfere with your work or your concentration. Step number 3 is focus. When you now work, you work. You've got to focus. If somehow mentally you get distracted, write all these things down. Okay? Oh, I need to do this. I need to go to the supermarket. Write them on a worry list or to-do list. And just get that off your mind and put the list somewhere so that you can attend to later. Or another thing is if you find yourself drifting off or mentally wandering off, say to yourself mentally, stop, okay? Go back to work. Stop, go back to work. Train your brain to be tenacious, to be disciplined, to be focused. And last thing is, you know what? Turn off your electronics unless you have to use your phone, okay, for example, or your laptop for your work. And even with that, close all unnecessary browsers. The key is to eliminate the noise so that now you can become single-mindedly focused. Please try all these steps, and sincerely, I hope these tips serve you. And thank you so much for watching.